Yeah.
There's some technical difficulty going on there. My bad. It looks like they changed the app up I use to stream a little bit. All right. Let's attack some purpose.
What I watched.
Huh?
I watched that thing.
Sweet. Good. Let's just. All right. So first off, the first thing we're gonna work tonight is just breaking him down. So, Chad, turtle's a really defensive position, right? Like it's really hard for me if I get really committed here to trying to lock up anything. He actually loads me. So if I like really start locking in the choke here, all he's got to do is roll, side, whatever he wants to just tip me over. Right? He becomes the ball. So we don't really want to necessarily go for the sub here with absolutely no control first because we're just kind of loading ourselves to get swept. So instead, we're going to focus on breaking the main. And I have double unders here. Then what I'm going to like to do is actually, no, let's just start with just the pull. Let's go get 5 reps a piece of just this, and then we'll do the chest to back. So right here, I have space between our chest and my chest and his back. Take his trap, take his hip, and I'm going to pull over his hip. All right, and this is where you're stopping. That's all we're doing for now. Then we'll move on to the next thing. Let's do this quick. Let's get 5 reps of those, and then circle back up. Right, 1, 2, 3.
Let's just smash me. I think that's all we did. How are you placed, JT? I got up to the agency. Yeah, so we're doing grab. Yeah, we got call. Am I gonna be right here?
Yeah, so this is like if we have space between your chest and the back, then we're going to pull out towards the hip. Yeah. We're just like going to break it down. And you need to make a little pocket there with your leg for him to fall into.
Okay. Until I get your leg.
Yeah, just get your knee like out of the way so there's something for him. There's a place for him to fall.
Okay. So this leg.
Okay, like
I should make sure that pocket there. I'm right here.
I have like space here. When I pull on this, it's almost like sumo.
Okay.
Oh, a little too much there.
Okay, so you're kind of on an active toes.
Yeah.
Move back.
Yeah.
Most of the balls.
I don't want to make so much space that like what happens just didn't happen. Like I want to make sure that I'm still there to take it back. I don't want to rotate, but I also don't want to just run it on my hip and never get fall down. I don't want to feel away.
Okay.
This also works if you're on your feet entirely. Like like on your feet, just pull down.
Yeah. I thought in that how you do it.
That's how you do it in your video.
Okay. Yeah, you would get a little space. So look how small that is.
Yeah.
So, I'll watch it. I do that in box.
Honestly, we're entertained.
Solid, Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
And Charles.
All right, hey, let's add to it. All right, so that was if we don't have a chest to back connection there, right? So again, so all right. So now, let's say we do have chest to back connection, and I have double unders here. It's the same kind of motion where even if I have double unders, I'm still going to look to pull him over his hip here. So I'm in tight, and then when I decide to pull him, I can either pull with both hands, or we can separate. I'm gonna pull both hands first. Here, all right? Or if I want to, I can also, if I feel like I need extra momentum, extra leverage, I can always drive it into him first. And then as I pull away, I can separate my hands and pull at the hip because I'm going to have more leverage here, right? So it's up to you. If you feel like you need the extra leverage for whatever reason, you can drive in. And then as you pull away, you can separate your hands. You can pull at the hip. So one more time, if I have double unders, I can lock my hands and I can pull. I'm still pulling towards the hip. I'm not trying to pull him out this way. I'm trying to pull him towards his hip right here. All right. So I can also do this even if I'm going to unlock my hands. I can drive forward. This is usually going to get a reaction out of him. As he drives back, I'll separate my hands and I'll pull with one hand in his hip punch. Yeah, right there. I'm going to go ahead and move on from here, though. I want you guys to drill this part. So, Zach. But once you get here, next thing I would like to do is shoot in for wrist control and lock the figure of 4. Once I've got wrist control, we're going to look to insert our top side hook here. And then all I'm going to do is fall to my side. Lock the body front. One more time. So if you go right here. So I've got double unders. Whether I want to separate or not doesn't really matter. I'm gonna separate here. So I'm gonna drive forward. As he drives back, I'm gonna separate my hands, pull him over the hip, at his hip. Here. Next thing I'm looking to do, swim inside, get wrist control, block the figure of 4. Top side hook comes in and shoots all the way to the far hip. And then I'm going to sit to that hip. Then we're where we were last week. We're on our underhip side with the top side body triangle, right? Anybody have a question on that? Anybody see it again? Yes. It's just another. See it from here, right? Here, double unders. I got just back connection, double unders. I drive into him. As he drives back, I'm going to pull at the hip. I'm posting out too, so I don't have to fall over, right? Pull at the hip, post out. And then I'm looking to immediately get this inside, this top side wrist control. If we're going to assume we get it here, there's the next phase that we move on to. We'll say we need to get this. But let's say we actually can get this wrist control. I'm able to get a figure of 4. Shoot my top leg in. It shoots to the far hip as I fall to that side and lock my body triangle. Good. Questions? 1, 2, 3.
Well. Yes. Yeah. Alright, so pulling one today. Oh, we're getting down.
This is not for those here. Right now. If I was doing big on the house, then that's you're going right around that. It's I'll get the hook up and fall in love. I'll stop. I get the hook up. And then I'll get it. Exactly. Hey, whenever we pull them over, when we break them down, we don't want to just fall over. We don't want them just falling on us like this. Like, you know, what if you do this, and then just kind of fall. Like you can, right? But it's possible. I'd rather be able to do more active here. So when I pull them over, you make these mistakes for him to fall into. Like I'm not falling with him. I'm pulling him into the space that I'm creating. So right now, I've got the wall here, right? When I pull, my wall is about to hit my body, right? When I pull, I'm moving that wall and I'm pulling him over his head. If he falls into his pocket, then he's taking out, right? Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm the wall, I'm pulling down, looking down into him. But if I remove myself, I pull, now he falls. But if I just stay glued to him the whole time and I never create space, then I'm just gonna fall down on my side like this. I'm way less mobile. Now he's laying on my foot. I still might get him back, but it's much cleaner. I'm gonna stay here, have the wall, drive into the reactions, and make the space for him to fall into. But not get started. Also, I want to get this wrist control and I want to get certain slow before I start trying to take him over. Okay. Right. I don't want a situation where I'm trying to let my lips here if I can avoid it. You can, but let's go ahead and try to get it in from the top side. It's like good, better, best, right? Question?
Yeah, just for
That's one point.
as you when you get the hook, you don't want to shoot to the other arm or the figure four. You just want to keep that there and you get the hook in.
Yeah, I want the wrist control first. Yeah.
Okay.
So once I get the wrist control, if I get it broken down and I immediately start trying to shoot this in, I'm not going to win this race. See, it's also what we're going to go to next. His primary reaction is going to be to scissor his leg and start trying to build back up the turtle. Right? I'm able to slow him down. I'm able to slow that down. The quicker I get this wrist control, I'm able to now as he starts to try to build back up the turtle, I'm able to track that much more efficiently. Versus because I've got more control over where he's taking. Questions on that? 1, 2, 3. That's why I call it out. What's up, Seth?
And every time they do it, they give reps on the original thing too.
Yeah.
They do. You already went over that, Tucker.
When you, actually, here, where we get your seatbelt. I was getting now.
Left hand post. Left hand post.
Yeah. And then once again. Roll like a little bit. That's just because of me. Right here. They're all that's it. And I can use it for this. Right. Sorry. Lot. But not all of that always. Control what I is that not part of voice? That's the gist. Yeah, it gets more like that. It looks like you were shooting. But it's just it's somehow. Right here. The other foot. Stand on the other foot. You know, like soft today. Knees like make it knock out of your butt. You said we could do either.
Oh, okay.
Right, see that kind of doesn't go on yourself. You said push. That's what we don't want to do right there.
And I'll push back.
Right.
And then use that momentum to kind of grab my hip and flip me over. And then from there,
Even if I go like here.
oh, it's 2 unders, yeah, double unders. Yeah.
Right here, then probably I'm doing that.
Yeah, then you're gonna get the leg lock or the leg yeah.
You can see I'm still up my foot here. I'm not down here. I'm up on my chest and I haven't let this back. Now it's this before I had heard. Guys, when you break me down, finish with your chest still on their back. I'll show you what I mean in a second, but try to think about that for a second. Otherwise, you're probably going to keep pulling them down on top of you instead of like staying. You're like, all right. Yeah. Good day, boy. Probably exists here.
You're just staying on your left knee. And so open the hole up and set him down in it.
Hey, yeah, let's just circle back up and clean up a couple things,
And now don't sit down.
and then Seth will be able to see the full drill too.
Now lace this leg.
Yeah.
And in here first. Now roll that way and lock up here. There you go. That's it. Scared Tucker.
All right,
Makes sense.
let's do let's clean it up. Yeah, sure. So first off, yeah, that was fine. So some of you are starting like this. This isn't where I want to be. It's other leg, right here. Also, in this particular scenario, chest to back. Remember we went over earlier. If I don't have a chest to back connection, then I'm still just gonna pull him over his hip, right? But if I have chest to back connection, I'm still pulling him over his hip. But one thing I want to emphasize here was whether I have chest to back connection and I'm pulling over this hip, some of you are also still pulling sideways instead of like literally trying to pull on this line here, right? This is different. Like, and you should be able to feel the difference. They should be able to feel the difference. One person's me pulling this way.
What do you ultimately want when you pull him back? What are you shooting for in the long term?
Back.
But take the back, and take the back means spinal alignment. So he's trying to get you to go ahead and start setting up the alignment. Because if you do pull him to the side, you're perpendicular instead of aligned. It's all to set up that perfect back take.
So when I pull, I'm gonna pull over the hip, whether I have chest to back connection like this, or whether I don't, or whether I do like this, my chest is on his back. When I pull, I still want to pull in such a way that this foot is still active and pointed up, right? I don't want to, what I mean by that is I don't want to flatten myself out like this, because now I'm very immobile. If I can help it, I'd rather finish this like this, with my legs still active and able to be in this fight here. And this is also if you opt to unlock your hands and pull this way. Either way, see how this foot never really leaves? Like that never really left where it was, if that makes sense. Right? I was here, and then I'm pulling, and it's still there. That makes sense. Yeah? It's not straightened down. I'm also not falling to my hip yet. Like this is like the checkpoint. I'm still very active. Now I get my wrist control. I lock my finger forward. Now I can, with ease, insert my hook. Yes, we can do it as we fall over, but we can also counter that. Like you can start denying that hook access by just bringing his knee to his chest as I try to sit over, right? So it's just higher percentage to go ahead and lock it in there when I have the advantage from the top. You have something to add, David? That makes sense to you?
Yes, the only little caveat, you really already talked about it, but if you think about you're going to get some beast, you know, and you pull him back and you kind of get lazy, probably like me, and just sit on your butt. What if he freaking spazzes out? What position are you in then? He's in your guard, kind of up over you, or he goes to half guard, or he goes to full mount, or he goes to side control. You lose your ability, limit your options, stay mobile.
Yeah.
And that foot being up and being on a knee, you have way more mobility than sitting on your butt. And things can change fast, but JC's in great shape right there.
Thank you.
Your shape is also great.
It's a shape, yeah. Also, when I take it back, like I want chest to back connection. I don't want to try to take the guy's back like this, you know? Like I have no contact here. He can easily rotate right now. Okay, does that make sense too? What's going on?
The bags were moving. It looked like someone was walking behind them. I couldn't tell what it was.
Oh.
I don't know why.
All right. Think about this though. Even if I just have Chad's back. And sorry if this doesn't make sense. I'm making this up as I go. All right. So if I try to have Chad's back here, but I don't have any chest to back contact. See how there's separation between my chest and his back. Like how much you can rotate. Just get out. Like there's nothing there. Right? So when I take somebody's back, like even if please. Okay. Yeah, you can. So when I take their back, like even if I started up here to break them down, as I shoot in for my grips to actually set up the entry, like, I'm on. How about this line? I don't want to try to take his back when I'm not. My chest isn't touching his back.
That's why that getting ear to ear is such a good reference.
Yeah.
It's impossible for him to be ear to ear without being chest to back.
Right, like
Maybe like that.
super hard. All right, do a few more reps of this, but please emphasize pulling over the hip and not like out at almost like an angle, like or literally an angle, like through the cheek, right? Also, emphasize my foot position. So when I do pull, it's still active, and I'm also once I get them broken down, I'm on it. I have chest to back connection. Lastly, if you choose to not unlock your hands for this, which is totally fine, if you choose to keep your double unders, when you pull, since we need to go out at an angle, I want to think about sprawling my hips that way. That's what's actually doing the pull. So as I shoot back, I'm taking my hips at that angle that I want to pull it, and I'm bringing my elbows to my pockets. Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. 1, 2, 3.
For your both, are you going like 3 or 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to that's just it's pretty quick and just gets back. I'm just looking at the pressures. The worst case you do have to drive, but at a point, I got you. But one that's back.
I think you grab, yeah, probably right here, and then what's this? Here, on your, yeah.
I think stuff like that, like where's my here?
Yeah, I should go on there. Well, you can't call me to find. Yeah. So,
You have to only flip it. You want to keep your hands close to
Hey, run that again. Let him run that again. Stop. Okay. This is getting real cheap. Okay, you have an option to grab it here or here. This is better. And it's fat. Just basically the further you get out on the lever, so the more power you have. Don't get so far in his fingers. Just like 3%. This is great. Sliding up in that fatty part, that's even better. But I wouldn't stay. That's what you don't see. Further out you can get, still maintain your grip. So at least suicide zone, but maybe it's bad. You'll have a lot more. Get a guy who can bench press 500. Like you're gonna want it way out there.
You know, after the same thing there, it's perfect. So I'll show you that. You get this control on this. Kind of like, you know, y'all went through this. Where it's 30 volt. If I could, I would really keep each other out of your to a certain now. You should have a read before I can if I'm going to do
I had a bunch of pretzels with spicy custard. The market up here.
but I'm trying to build
No, just it's hot. After I got my stuff at work. Probably gonna have to do that.
you see the food. I think Hey, y'all, look at this. Look at this. Sit. Like this. I just hold. Y'all keep trying. Just hold y'all. I'm just gonna tell everybody. Right here. After I break the set down. Right there. When I get the wrist control, I get my figure four. Remember, you can go ahead and start taking them over and working on working your hooking. Right? We can do that. But you'll see he even just reactively did. As I started inserting my hook, he brought his knee to his chest, right? Like, because he's good, right? He has good instincts. But also, even if he doesn't do that, if I'm trying to put my hook in, I don't already have it in as we fall over. Let's just say, worst case scenario, right? I got nothing shutting them down, nothing shutting the sensibility to get out down. But if I am broken down and we're here and I get my hook inserted all the way to the far hip, now as I sit, even if he explodes real hard, like, last nose got it. Okay? Yeah, he kind of put himself in a deep triangle there. But does that make sense now? Like, maybe now you'll understand why I'm saying that. Like, that hook going all the way in before we ever even roll over, that would be best. You can do the other, catch it in the transition. It's just been better best. So I want to make sure you're drilling best and then you're aware of doing better. Right? Like, do a few more and then we'll move on, right?
So when they do that, like, trying to do is, can you like shoot the heel in and hip and go across?
Yeah, possibly. It's just like, it's another battle that we have to win. We're avoiding the battle entirely.
Yeah.
If we just go ahead and have it like this before we take them over. Or they're the only one that's gonna fight the battle. We don't have to fight it. Right? The more battles he has to fight, but we don't have to fight. We don't want to problem. All right. Any other questions? All right, 1, 2, thank you. Hey, do that one more time, Chad. Do it one more time and pause before you take them over. Wait. Yeah. And you know why that's that wrong then? Go back up. Because you're putting your foot on that side of the bike. Yeah. If it's not, like, you see how your foot there to move? That's more like the foot's almost in the same. It moved 3 inches. It's almost in the same spot that I just started with shit.
Yeah. It was more natural.
You're kind of slowing yourself down. You're tripping yourself because it's only on. I see what you're saying. And if you can't come out, like, what do you thought? I just don't. I can reach you because you're world doing it, and you can always start standing right there. Like, I lock it up. You'll feel me unlocking the trap your arm. Like this. And like, you don't know, you have to set it, grab your arm right there. It's
Yeah. Something to the hips.
that's why I have people. Sometimes it's like situation. Yeah. Let's do it. Right. Yeah. Maybe I'll see if you know.
So I would have that channel. So I'm on screen.
You hear them.
Just like that. It's like a blade.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, you like that. You let that space go.
Yeah, whenever you move your hip out, you just on.
Prioritize that, just dedicate.
I was excited.
Right there, you had double unders, so it doesn't matter. Yeah,
Hey, let me see if I can
you had double unders right then, so it doesn't matter, but it's always the other side, but choking, so if I'm jumping here, she literally had double under, which is fine. It's just an violence tax, choosing an arm, and that one doesn't. I think we're.
Robert, and stick it on one side, like here, but do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Get it up more.
Yeah, oh, like right on the hood. Yeah. If you go a little bit below it, it's still fine. But it's like I just you have to control for you.
Yeah, I think we're like, even a plan here up here.
Right here, whatever you decide.
That's what I'll be.
It's gonna slip and slide.
I shouldn't have one, right?
And a spoil. You trying to break it down?
Yeah.
No, I'm just, I'm heavy on my case right now, so. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I mean.
Yeah, once I get there.
So move this wrist closer to my. Move this wrist closer to my neck. There you go.
It's like the concept of the darn set of degrees. Which they have from arm, like calculations. When you move the hand.
Oh, from Turtle? The
Take
power
your
half.
shoulder one way, head that way.
Yeah.
They can't stop it. Force it, shoulders turn.
We did a power half from Turtle to a Darce, I think, earlier this year. I'm not sure if y'all were here,
So,
but there is a Darce there. All right. Anybody have questions? Sorry. All right. Let's do one more. All right, so again, turtle. From here, break it down however we choose. Once we break it down, common reaction is going to be to scissor his legs and climb back to turtle. Okay, so go ahead and get back up, sir. All right, I'm just trying to turn you back a little bit so I can see you there. So to slow that down, once I break him down, right now I'm kind of shallow. I might be at all the way here at the hip. Also, this might be kind of here, but not super deep. Once I break him down, I'm immediately going to shoot this top side arm in for a deep tightness. And then I'm not going to like use this to just get heavy on the top because I'm not, what I'm trying to do is slow down his hips from getting back to turtle. Right now, he can climb right back to turtle later if I'm super just top heavy. But if I got this deep tight waist and I take my elbow to my pocket and I like sink my hips into him, and I still got my chest on the back, this is going to slow his ability to get up to turtle. It's not going to keep him from getting to turtle. It's going to slow him down. All right. So as he climbs back up to turtle, I'm looking to insert this bottom hook here and thread it to the outside of his foot if I can. Right now, I can't do it. I don't know. I guess it's short leg or something. I don't know. That's fine. I shouldn't be a big deal. From here, I'm going to get my other foot and make a foot-to-foot connection here. Next thing I'm going to do is we're going to break him down with what's called a power half Nelson. I'm going to put my wrist right here over the neck, my palm up. I'm going to grab a gable grip, this underhook arm. And what I'm looking to do is take his chin to his chest by flaring my elbow. So I'm this motion. I'm pulling this elbow up and I'm pushing this elbow down to take his chin to his chest. All right. An important detail that we just figured out was not too deep with my wrist here. Hold my wrist like right here at the base of the neck. And then as I'm going to flare my elbows, everything else stays the same. I'm in tight and I'm flaring my elbows. I'm taking it to this side. Immediately, I'm still looking. I want to make sure that I'm able to trap this calf here. Because my foot's on the outside, he can just bring his leg to the inside. Go ahead. Your bottom leg. You can just get it out of it. Yeah. Right. And then I'm not going to have nearly as much control. But if I didn't already catch this for whatever reason, I want to be able to trap that as soon as possible to prevent him from just like clearing his calf under my foot. You see this guy, guys, right here? I want to be able to track that. Next thing I want to do, I have all the control here. As long as I extend that leg, I don't let him get that leg back under my foot. And I have all this control by that's still that same push-pull motion with my elbows. From here, I want to look to insert my hook. So I might just be able to go straight there like this. Or he could be blocking me with his knee from getting it in. What we're going to do here is I'm going to open him up some more by flaring my elbows. And I'm going to point my toes out to give myself the best chance of inserting my heel into his hip. Once it's inserted, I'm going to use this momentum to pull him over and keep inserting my hook deeper to the top to lock that triangle as this arm comes out and locks my seatbelt. We're back in the same game we've been in, back in the underhook. Like seatbelt, underhook side. Make sense? Let's do it one more time. So here, I break them down however I choose. I'm immediately shooting a deep tight waist, and I'm pulling my elbow back towards his hips and my own pocket as I sink my hips into it. I'm not pulling him back. I'm just getting really heavy on his hips so that as he goes to get up, he's got to bring my entire body weight with him. As he goes to get up, I'm looking to insert that bottom hook, and I'm looking to thread it on the outside of his foot if I can get. See, I got it this time. Let's turn the other way so you can see. This is where we ended up. Got my foot's on the outside now. Before, I messed it up, the entry, and it was on the inside. But this time I did get it. Next thing I'm looking to do. All right. Next thing I'm looking to do is get foot-to-foot connection. So I'm just going to put my foot on my own heel. My one heel on the other, right here. Then I'm going to put my palm over his neck, or my wrist over his neck, palm up, shooting my underhook, getting my gable grip, and then I'm looking to flare my pull this elbow up, push this elbow down, with the goal of taking his chin to his chest as we fall to my side. As soon as I get here, I'm going to extend my bottom leg to make him make him longer, make him even less mobile. And I'm immediately looking to put my hook in. If he's blocking my access, I'll open him up some more. I'll point my toes out so that I can carve my heel into the hip. Once it's in the hip line, I keep pulling him over, inserting the hook deeper, locking the body triangle, and locking my seatbelt all at the same time. I got a lot of blank stares, so I'm a little concerned. Y'all good? Is that too much? Does anybody have a question?
Are you giving up the, like, as you shot through and then pulled him over? When you go for the gable, is that when you let go of that, or do you let go of that, you shoot the leg through it?
Want to go for the power half? That's after I've got my hooks in place.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you already have it established at that point.
Yeah, so let's just, like, I've already broken down. I've synced my hips. He gets back up, and as he's getting back up, I'm looking to insert that bottom hook.
There it is.
Get my foot
Yeah.
to the outside, put the foot. Now I'll worry about this.
Okay.
Because I
If
still
you
got,
really wanted to play it super safe, that right hand can maintain that base control
yeah.
until you're
Because even if
pretty
I have this,
comfortable with the foot part.
if he just gets spazzy here, I still have a lot of control here. Right? I can go somewhere else if I need to, as long as I'm shutting that hip down. So, yeah, we can keep that tight waist until. All right, go ahead and get back up. Until my hook. Sorry. Until my hook is in place, and my foot to foot connection is established. Like I can keep sideways. Now I can start worrying about breaking him down. Any other questions from here? Palm up, underhook, give a grip, and then I'm going to take his chin to his chest. Straighten the foot.
Does anybody know what kind of control this is? What's the concept happening right here that you've been taught? Huh?
Table leg.
The spine with off center.
What's the
No.
before back?
What else?
Tends to back.
What?
Table leg.
You got like an arm and a leg. It's like he's got control.
What kind?
Crossbody, right?
Diagonal.
Yes. Yeah.
He's got Chad's left leg controlled. He's got his right arm. The same freaking thing as when you're on the top. Diagonal control. Diagonal control. Taking the back, diagonal control. All this stuff, no matter how complicated it is, is still always going to rely on these super simple things like I mentioned spinal alignment. Well, that's something you already know, and it's across the board something that works in a bunch of techniques. Diagonal control there, ear to ear, killing space. Multiple times he's talked about stuff within this thing, and it's all about staying tight to him. And that's one concept, killing space. Don't give him space. And it's a bunch of simple stuff that you remember no matter how complex or how long the chain of stuff you're doing. It's all that stuff is simple stuff.
We create space when we want to create space. Like, not we don't let him create space, but like right here, I want to create a little space so you can fall into it. But generally speaking, Nick says it a lot. Space is our enemy. Like it's not our friend. So we want to create space on our terms.
There's a reason for it if you ever do it. Just like right there, that's to use the momentum. So you're kind of gearing up and pulling your momentum. That's the only, there's a reason behind why he's creating that space. Just to kind of that whip motion where you pull the guy in. But anytime you're not doing something active like that, you're sucked up to the
Or in side control, right? We talked about this last week. The purpose of this is to create space so that as I take it away, I can get my knee and my elbow back to the side, right? So, yes, that concept is everywhere, but we're creating space on our terms, and it's intentional.
Yeah,
there's intentionality behind it. We're not just like flailing around aimlessly. All right. Does anybody need to see any of that again?
You should have.
Yeah, let's do the whole thing again. Here, breaking down however I choose. Once I get here, I'm shooting a deep tight waist. I'm bringing my elbow, I'm pitching my elbow into his hips, and I'm sinking my hips into him to slow him down. As he builds height, I look to insert my bottom hook immediately, and I look to work it to the outside of his leg. Get my foot on my foot connection here. Palm up, wrist on the back of his neck. Shoot my underhook, cable grip, and now I'm going to pinch his chin towards his chest as I take my elbows like 12-6, right? I'm here, I'm gonna go. And I'm keeping this pressure the whole time. I'm not letting up here. I'm constantly here, pinching my elbows as far back as I can. Just extend my leg, insert my hook, keep pulling him towards my chest, but I'm still driving this entire time, right? Because this is what's keeping the control. So even as I pull him to the side of my body, I'm still driving his head up with this elbow. Lock my body, trying to lock my seat up. Good. All right, 1, 2, 3. Was it?
It's so smooth.
So smooth? Yeah.
Make one like track.
What's that?
On a track, it's like you.
As we build up, you're gonna look at certain volumes. Like it's right there, in that position, honestly, outside of stuff, I was really just like I was on top of it. Ideally, no, you'll stop being aware of this. This ideally goes on top, and no one put the foot down. Like extra on there. It's great. Not that you don't feel it. You will get all of your other my pain all the time. You think and very soon, this one we have to gonna see as you left legs. You see how you wish that you want there was some fun. Now it's much side, walk the body and then flare this over up. We'll take on yeah, no, I was supposed to shoot the leg to get a little bit of these minutes. And then the spread leg comes across. Not now, well, whatever you want to balance it back, on the back. Too far.
That's it, right hand over, off right hand arm up, your other right hand. We go underneath the arm with the left. And through. Well, you're gonna fall on the side, that's for sure. So, yeah.
I'm not doing all of it. Just sitting. As he's high legs, I'm already in the city. Pressure. Don't get it in. I'll keep my palm it's not really.
I asked Dave to like there, I can go over and make sure he. But I think right there, I kind of like did it too quick.
I'm on my leg, it's not like that, like that over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. And like in a live match, is if you have that power half, you're doing it right. Like it's, I don't know if it works for you, but
Yeah, like I like right there.
yeah, it's like and like if you got it right here, and you have this like this skin, like you don't have that. You have this reaction, like it's just like muscle. So if you do it when it's slow,
Yeah.
it's just gonna be a long like pain. And like the explosive and the way it's the same. So I mean, you just go slow and bounce and then like I did this one. It's neutral. We didn't see you stay.
Yeah, cause I feel like I went too quick toward my leg.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and once they
Yeah,
like slide
all
on
out, nice.
Yes.
Now you start working your, heel, I think.
and then right here,
They-
espresso is called reference to the. So I don't know if you noticed, but like I start off like this. I start like this, like this. Cause like there's not a lot of space here. Like if you're like this,
Yeah.
there's a lot of space. Like legs, I can get for more. Like it's just
Yeah. Just like your back.
yeah. And like in a live roll, you won't be like this. Like in a live roll from the toe. I think you're there. Yeah, you got wide base, but yeah, that's just we did.
Oh, it's starting left shoulder there. You go right there. Don't want to move. You don't want to roll in. Right there. Perfect. Straighten your left foot. Straighten your left foot.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, you see, I'm going to lose that cow over here. You kind of like.
And then yeah, just
It's in the middle. In a little out of position. That's my position. Now, search your foot. Everyone's taking over. Yeah, basic gist. Usually it's more of that. Then we'll finally lock our wrists. Yeah, we're getting to the one. Here. I mean, we can just do all that on a power line. Yeah, the whole thing, you only find it. It was like a ground floor.
His moment is kind of weird. I don't know. Probably if it didn't feel right, then I was probably cool. So you just wanna like
yeah, you're literally
okay.
but other than that, I don't even get five.
Go back to your, so that with this, again, it's so nothing you're seeing. So like, when you play, like, necessarily have to have your left leg use to engage, right? You have a chest to death position. It's the full, you get it, yeah, for down, kind of stuff, send with the power. Once you have the power out, it's like, there's just like if you feel like I'm the point where we're going, you'll try to get. I understand it's being set like probably same thing. That's it. Just get the check points. Got the same, say that. We want to check this.
Like when I got you straight over, I had wrong this so like spread out. Roll over, yeah.
I'm already.
No, I mean, if you start, I don't see your, I don't think you scare, so that's like you scare, yeah, I think it's something.
Now, I was like, this would have actually flow incredibly. Now, I'm actually. Now. Here, the next checkpoint.
So you're saying this one? All right, let me take a look.
It doesn't look very square.
It's like the same, but
Oh,
No, not this.
yeah.
like that look that we have, we straighten it. It's just another G off, because if he's lining this right here, something's nice and see, on your tape, he's gonna really,
Yeah.
I mean, that is everything, because first off, we don't have that, it's sort of under us.
What the bike says, eh?
Yeah. I think that's a lot. I've had
Rather keep this
free website. What's it?
use it.
Stream ages.
As I-
Yeah, they do on those. So it's like, yeah, it's only like,
How you have
Vegas, Steve Forrest, Camden, Ryan.
You know how you have your feet up,
you know,
you go straighten this out, straighten, see how it makes.
Hey guys, it's past time, my bad. I didn't realize we were past 6:30. Does anybody have any questions on that? We can
Yeah.
go over it again.
You were doing, you were like not square with each other.
Square.
Hey, y'all pay attention real quick. I'm sorry, I know we're over time, but they have a question, so I'm not gonna go ahead and answer it on camera. Yeah, let's see it. They said they weren't landing square with each other when they ran it. So let's see what's happening.
So, I don't know what the pressure what it is, but like, you rotate, right?
Mhm.
And it's like his hips are,
Yeah, like I can,
yeah, and now he's square.
Yeah.
But it's like we end up, and he's turned like this. I'm not sure what
But
happened.
it didn't happen that time.
I mean, that time it was kind of like a better run, but.
Let's see. We didn't see that.
it's on like this.
Right there. I see. Yeah. Sorry, so the problem is we get them down, we get them to break them down, sink our hips, get those back up. You're getting to the right spot. One thing that I am seeing from almost everybody is being pretty late to the game, finding that first quick connection. Make sure we're gonna get on there as quickly as possible. I don't want him pommeling that leg back on the inside while I'm slipping, but pommel. Like I don't want that, right? So if I capture that leg, I want to keep it. Like that's the purpose of the foot connection. Next, when I break them down, here's what you did. You went here. Went like right here. Okay. 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 Sorry, I'm off balance myself. All right. Now, this time, I'm gonna follow that hip, and I'm stopping, and I'm gonna straighten my bottom foot. And that's what squares us up. Okay. Okay. Then I insert my lip. Then I pull. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna stopping and straightening the bottom hook is what's gonna square your hips back up a little. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Roll over, that's gonna.
You just keep that, if you keep that hook bent, you're just gonna keep going.
Yeah,
And you're pushing them off more and more off center from your hips. Yeah. So that's actually kind of catching them. They'll stop rotating. Does that not make sense to anybody who would like to see it again? Okay. It's on video if you want to watch it again. We're too afraid to ask. Any other questions? Awesome. All right, 1, 2, 3. Class guy.